Good evening, you lovely lot. Welcome to Friday night's edition of, well, Crafters TV. Of course, I know somewhere across the globe you're going to be afternoon, some of you is going to be morning, and for you guys in Oz, you're going to be into tomorrow. So don't tell me what's happening tomorrow. I like to have that as a little bit of a secret. Anyway, within this show tonight, we're doing a Friday night craft along. Now, I know lots and lots of you are excited about the craft along, and in actual fact, we've got quite a few craft alongs going on this weekend. So do you know what? Before I dive into all of the bits and pieces about the website, let's bring her in with that absolutely epic craft along, because of course it gives you the opportunity to grab the bits that you need while I go over a few other things. It is, of course, Michelle. Michelle, when it comes to All Hallows Eve, there only was one person on the team that could do the craft along, and that was you.
Oh, thank you very much. I must admit, I wanted this craft along. I love this collection, from the papers to all the dies, the stencils. I think it's just an amazing collection. So, show you my craft along if you haven't seen it already today. So I thought we'll make a lovely coffin. Just a lovely, we'll make a gruesome coffin then. Yeah, a coffin. And I've done it in a way, there was a couple of ways I could have done it, but actually I've done it in a way where it allows you, can you see all those lovely, there you go,
cool
elements on the side. What it's going to do is, the way I've done it, it's going to allow you to be able to recreate this in whatever size you want. My instructions are nice and simple. Of course, I've used that lovely, those fibres, because they're just amazing. You're going to pop them on anything Halloween, but actually coming up to Christmas as well, you're going to use those fibres. But yeah, so that's my craft along.
Awesome, excellent, really looking forward to that. Now, of course, as I did say earlier on in the last show, if you headed across to the Crafters TV social pages, you'll have seen the list of everything that you're going to need. But just in case you did miss that, and of course you're wanting to then just have a little bit of a recap, Michelle, would you mind giving us a recap as to what we need?
Absolutely. So what you're going to need is your All Hallows Eve collection. You're going to need the Haunted House die set, the Spooktacular die set, Trick or Treat die set, and your Wicked Witch die set. Your 12x12 paper pad and your 6x6 paper pad. You're also going to need the A4 linen card. And then what you're also going to need is some Centura Pearl in black and your Snow White hint of silver. Some multi-purpose card, your quick dry ink pad in jet black, a water reactive ink pad in jet black, glitter pack, that black and iridescent glitter that we've got, and then those embellishment fibres, and I used my Violet Studios paper trimmer.
Awesome.
Oh, we've got more. You will also need your Gemini midi or larger, a pencil and ruler, your craft knife, edge crimper, Collal tacky glue, tape pen, dotted tape pen, and some foam pads.
Awesome, that's great. Thank you for that, Michelle. We'll come back to you just very, very shortly. What we'll do is we'll just let anyone that needs to then, of course, just grab all the bits and pieces, and of course, we can do that. Now, what we have got, which is a lovely treat as well, we've got someone crafting along with us. Now, I can't wait to introduce you, because I'm sure she's going to do an incredible job when it comes to, of course, what Michelle's going to be doing within the craft along. And she's right here in the UK, and it's Katie McQueen. Hi, Katie, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Craig. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you very much. Now, what's your thoughts on Michelle's craft along for this evening?
I love anything coffins, so yeah, it's right up my street. I've been very excited for this one and had to bribe Rachel and Susie to, let me do this one.
Oh, brilliant, excellent. I take it then you're into kind of like Halloween and all that sort of form, are you?
Yes,
Yes.
100%. My decor is all Halloween based all year round. And more Halloween than Christmas, if I'm perfectly honest.
Oh, well, that sounds good to me. You know me, I do love my Christmas time, but then I do love the Halloween as well. Just going off the back of what myself and Michelle were talking about in masterclass earlier, when it comes to Halloween, are you into the horror movies, the spooky movies?
Yes.
Not real. Oh, you are.
I love it all. I love it
the
all,
whole lot.
yes,
Paranormal as well?
definitely. Yes, all of it. Anything
of it.
like that, I love it.
all of it. Excellent. Can't wait to see what you're going to be doing when it comes to this craft along, Katie. What we'll do is we'll get started just in a moment. If you need any help or if you need a recap with anything from Michelle, just pop your hands up. We've got Dean, we've got Charlotte. Charlotte's of course overlooking, so she'll let us know and then we'll come back. But we'll dot in every now and again. Okie doke. Awesome. Can't wait to see what Katie's going to be doing. Right, before we do it again, go over to Michelle. Just want to give you a quick recap as to our Buy More, Save More currently running across on our website and, of course, within our Crafters TV. And it's exactly that. It's Buy More, Save More. Or as the website says, spend more, save more. But it doesn't really matter. It's exactly the same. And it is the more you buy, the more that you're going to be saving. So if you spend 50, you're going to get 10 off. Now, of course, this equates to pounds, dollars, or euros. So to get your £10 off 50 spend, all that you need to do at the promo code in checkout is then put in spend save 10. Now if you spend 100 you can get 20 off. You just need to put in spend save 20, and if you spend 130 you can get 30 off by putting spend save 30 in the promo code. Now what I do need to just make it clear, it is one use per code. Not one use per code. So keep that in mind. So you can take advantage of, well, all three codes if you want to. I didn't tell you that. But what I do want to let you guys know, for you guys across stateside, if you spend over $50, you're going to get free shipping as well. So have a little look. Craft Along is all about, of course, one dedicated item. You know, we will have a look at a few things just to give Michelle that little break and breather space for you guys to catch up. But when it comes to, of course, the Buy More, Save More, or of course for you guys with the shipping incentive, have a look on the website, Shop the Day. You know, and it does open up not just for what's on Shop the Day, anything across on the website, of course. Just get to those kind of tiers when it comes to that spend more, save more, and you can take advantage of all of that. But we have got the gorgeous Gracie on comments this afternoon. I'm already thinking of tomorrow morning, what I'm going to be up to, which is nothing that weekend, let me tell you. We've got Diana saying, hiya, good evening, everyone. Well, good evening to you too, Diane. We've got Olga saying, hi from Brooklyn, New York. Wish I was home following along. This is a must make. I think this is one of the most anticipated craft-alongs that we've probably ever done, Michelle.
Do you think?
I'm going to go out there, yeah. Because we don't tend to go big when it comes to Halloween.
No.
So to go big this year and to have craft along with it, it's going to be absolutely epic. I know that there's going to be quite a few that are maybe not crafting along right now, but will do after they've watched. Marianne is saying, morning all from Edmonton. We've got Lois is saying, good afternoon, everyone from Ohio. Handcrafted by Gaz is saying, good evening, Craig Michelle, and our social media superstar and all the CCTV crew and my crafty friends. So as I did say, we've got Dean producing, we've got Charlotte directing, both of which are in over the weekend. So you're going to see their name popping up. But we've got Jake just outside as well. He's getting set up for the weekend as well as giving us a helping hand. And of course, we've got Gracie on the socials. We've got Christine Mahoney is in, Kendall's in. We've got Nanny to the Girls is saying, hi all from a cloudy Wisconsin. Looking forward to Michelle's make. Phil Watson is saying, good evening on all. Samantha's in saying, good evening, Craig and Michelle. We've got Karen Fisher is saying, evening everyone from Florida. It's been a while since I've done a project for a craft along. This looks so cool, will definitely be one that I am doing. Brenda's in saying, hi Craig and Michelle and my crafty pals. I had a lovely birthday lunch with some lovely friends. I had a couple of gins, doubles, good for you. That's what I'm going to be doing over the weekend, chilling with a gin or two, doubles with ice and a lemon. So I will be doing a craft along tomorrow, relaxing with you both now. Well, a massive happy birthday to yourself and anyone else that is celebrating. Barbara R is in, Beth Malone is in, and Kirsty D is in as well. Right, let's get started. What we will say is give you a little recap of this little correct collection, and we'll go to Michelle when it comes to the craft along. If you need a little helping hand or that, do let us know in the socials, within the comments. Gracie will let me know, and then we'll give it a little stop, and then we'll ask Michelle for a little recap as to what she's doing. But we know how good Michelle is, and she's always crystal clear in the way she explains and the measurements that she gives. So what Michelle's going to be using is a number of elements from what was the All Hallows Eve collection. We've got a lovely little collection selection here at the side of me that we'll go through, and then a few additional add-ons that will go in later on in the show, just to give Michelle that little bit of a break and for you guys to then get caught up. But what we're going to go within this first one here, we're going to have a look at this little collection that I've got, as I say, that involve lots of lovely little elements from the All Hallows Eve. Now you're going to get 18 dies in total. With these 18 dies, these are going to be consistent of the Wicked Witch. These are gorgeous little silhouette feels when it comes to these dies. You've then got your Happy Halloween. That's a lovely little sentiment as well. We've got our pumpkin and our ghost. Now remember, on launch party on Tuesday, I used the pumpkin with a brand new funky foam and turned it into a stamp. So you can start to do that. Haunted house. We've then got our trick or treat, or as we say in Scotland, guys in. We've then got our spooky pumpkin edgeable. So that is that lovely collection selection, £34 or $45. You've got that at a platinum price of £27.20 or $36. What I would highly recommend, if you've got none of the All Hallows Eve collection and you're going to go for that, please check out Shop the Day. We've got another little decorative collection from All Hallows Eve and the 12 by 12 paper pad. There's not lots of that, hence why the paper pad is on its own. But if you add them to your basket, that'll take you to that incentive of the buy more, save more, and maybe for you guys as well over that shipping cap that is $50, of course. That being said, time for me to shut up. I will go quiet in between unless I need to ask Michelle a question. But Michelle, it's over to you.
Thank you very much. So to start with, I've picked the black Centura Pearl. Now, I normally pick just our black card, but I know that it's so hard for you to be able to follow any measurements and markings that I do on black card. So I thought, what better way than to still be able to use black, but you still to be able to see what I'm doing. Centura Pearl, because it's white on one side, which is absolutely perfect. It means that I can still have a black coffin, because it would look a bit weird in white. I've got to say, it wouldn't look all spooktacular. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut our first piece down, and we're going to cut this down to 8 inches by 4 inches. So let me just move those up. Right, so 8 by 4. So just trimming that down. There we go. And then you're going to bring in your ruler and pencil. So what we're going to do, we're going to create our main base. And what we're going to do with that is either using your markings on your glass mat or your ruler. It's entirely up to you. We're going to mark 1 inch in. So I've just found this ruler, and I've got to say it's got inches on it. Mine at home has got centimetres on it, so I was very happy to find this. If you work in inches and you don't have 1 inch ruler, then that, use your glass mat. So we're going to mark in 1 inch from your left-hand side and 1 inch from your right-hand side, and this is on the short side. We're going to do the same at the bottom as well. We're going to flip it all the way over, and you're going to mark 1 inch from one side and 1 inch from the other. And what that is going to do is it's going to give us that 2 inches in the middle. Right, just on one side, we're going to measure so far down. So roughly, you want to go round about 1/3. This is 8 inches, so I just picked 2 inches. You can go 2.5 if you want. It's entirely up to you. Let's do the 2.5. It makes it a little bit more evenly thirded. Does evenly thirded make sense?
Evenly thirded.
I think
I know
so.
where you're going with that, yeah.
So we're going to mark just from one side, because both our ends are exactly the same, so it doesn't matter which end you do this on, but you're just doing it on one end. So I'm going to pop a little 2.5 inch mark there. I'm going to flip it all the way round, and opposite here, we're going to mark that 2.5 inches. Just there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw those lines in. So from here to here, we're going to connect those lines. There we go. And the same here, connect those lines. And it doesn't matter that we're using pencil on here because you're not going to see this bit anyway.
Okay.
And then from here up to there, we're going to connect that line. Now you don't have to connect the line if you don't want, so you can just cut this out. But I'm going to do it like this so you can see exactly what shape it is that we're going for and what areas we need to cut out and what we don't. So there we go, so you've got your coffin shape. So this is why I used my my trimmer. Because when you line those lines on here, you're cutting gully there, you can line it absolutely perfectly up and get it spot on. So let's pop that on there and just cut those. You're cutting those 4 corners away is what you're doing.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to say, Michelle, so I'm not interrupting you, any of the additional items that Michelle is using, Charlotte's popping just on the side of the screen. So it'll either be on the screen or the side or the bottom. So keep an eye out just so that I'm not interrupting yourself, Michelle.
That's all right. Right, so again, we're just lining all those up and trimming them away. I mean, if you've got your guillotine, it's just as easy to do it on there. You're just going to line it up with the edge of that metal side rather than along this. I just love using a paper trimmer. It's what I've always used, and I love my guillotine, especially for my mount board and big cuts, things like that. But you will find that I just always tend to go back to my paper trimmer, and the fact that we then brought this one out, I've got to say, made me very, very happy.
Me too, me too.
Right, so let's just throw these pieces away. So what we want to do now is I'm going to bring in this piece of card and we're going to pop this in the middle. So if I turn it round this way so you can see, all we're going to do is I'm just going to pencil round it. So just with my pencil, we're just going to draw all the way round. So literally we are using it as a stencil.
Okay.
I mean, you couldn't cut another one out because we're going to add onto it. So you're definitely just going to use this as a stencil. Now again, bringing in this ruler, what I love about this is you've got these increments going across all those squares. So what I'm going to do is on this second line here, I'm going to line it up. So the second line here on my ruler is going to line up perfectly with this.
Got you.
So let me just, and then I'm going to draw a pencil line. And can you see how it's adding half an inch for me without me having to do any measuring and scoring, anything like that. We're going to do that all the way around. Turn it that way. You might want to use your first one, you might want to use your fourth one. If you want this next piece, so this is the base piece. If you want this to be a lot bigger, which is why I said once you have done this and seen how I do it, it's going to be very easy for you to just go on and adapt it because there's nothing sort of hard or difficult about the way I'm doing it.
Okay.
So literally what I've done is I've given myself exactly the same shape, just a half inch bigger on each side. So this is where your craft knife and ruler is going to come in. You can use your scissors, you can use your trimmer if you want, but I find this is the easiest way to cut this all out. So I'm just going to use my craft knife. It's a craft knife. Why did I think that sounded wrong?
Sometimes, isn't it, when you say something, you just doubt yourself.
Yeah. So I haven't got all the way through there. I think I might need to be replacing my blade soon.
Is this our craft knife or yours?
No, this is mine.
This is. I was just about to say because I think ours needs replaced as well. That's how I thought it was maybe our one.
Yeah. No, I use it ever so much, so it definitely, I replace it a lot. And again, don't worry about lining the edge of your ruler up on that pencil line, you know, in case you can't see it. Because remember, all you need to do is line up
True.
that line and you know that you're going to get it absolutely fine. So I'm just going in a couple of times because I can hear that it's not quite going all the way through. But again, that's just because it needs a new blade. just the last couple of score lines to cut. Did that one go through? No. So line that one back up. There we go. So there we go. You can see that that now fits on there perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
So what you can do now is just, because we need 2 of these, you can do exactly the same as what I just did, stenciling around that one and then adding your pencil mark, or just pop this one on because we want another one exactly the same size as this. So use this one as your stencil and draw around it and then cut it out. So then all in all, you're going to have 3 coffin shapes, 2 large and then 1 small. So there we go. I'm just throwing everything about, making a right old mess. So let me turn that around. So again, if you struggle lining the edge of your ruler up with that line, because you know you get it on one side and then you've got the shadow from your ruler, and it really can knock you off. And that's why I did it the other way, because it just, with following those lines, it just really helps sometimes. It takes a little bit longer to do those 2 pencil marks all the way around, but it takes an extra 20 seconds. So as long as you find it easy to do,
The thing
and
is,
it works for you.
a project that you're making, it's a labour of love as well, isn't it?
It is.
So for the sake of a few extra seconds or so.
That's it. That's absolutely it. So last couple of score lines. Because it's a nice thick edge on this side with that metal edging, it can cast a shadow sometimes, especially when you've got lighting overhead as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Although it's safer, yeah, the thing is when the light catches it, it can drop that shadow.
Yeah, that's it. So these 2 are actually nearly perfect. The fact that I think, let me have a look. I pop that down together, actually it is. I'm a little wonky there, but it really doesn't matter. That's like not even half of a mil. We're going to rough up those edges anyway. But they're not going to be, I mean, it's the tiniest little bit out. If that's going to annoy you, then trim it off. It's not going to bother me because that one's going to go there. My box is going to go in the middle, and that's going to go on the top. And by the time that does, there's no way you're seeing that minute, tiny little bit that you're out, especially because we're going to distress those edges anyway. We're going to pop that to the side for now, and on these 2 pieces, we're just going to distress the edges. That's all we're going to do. So either bringing in your little distressing tool or your blade, your scissors, it's entirely up to you. Whichever you're more comfortable with. I've got to say that I always opt for this, much to the horror of my husband, because I can be a little bit clumsy.
Really?
I can trip over my own feet when I'm walking. And then I wonder where my son gets it from.
It's funny, it reminds you, while you're doing it, it reminds me of a number of years ago, I've never done it since. When I was crafting away, this was before I joined the company, I was crafting away in my craft room. And I was cutting using a craft knife. And I distinctly remember I was watching one of the early Screams and I got a fright. And need I say anything more about craft knife in my hand, watching a horror, getting a fright, probably can kind of tell where I would be going with the rest of that story.
Love that. Oh God, I couldn't watch a horror while I was crafting. I mean, you saw me when we went to watch that horror. Every time I have a jump, my hands go up in the air.
I know, you nearly decked me.
So I'd be all right with the craft knife in my hand. The kids laugh at me when I'm at home. I hold a cushion, I sit with the cushion on my knee when a scary bit's coming, because my hands just fly up in the air. So I hold a cushion now, so I can't do it.
I mean, you can start to colour theme this coffin, you know, if maybe you've got a favourite film or something like that. You know, I know that you sometimes see the coffins in in Beetlejuice, and you can then start to theme it with the Beetlejuice colours, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe, you know, like me and Ben and some of the team of that follow the wrestling. You've got the Undertaker. If the kiddies have got the Undertaker action figures, you can then
Yes.
start to make that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're going to be able to, once I've done it, you're going to be able to adjust the size. So if your kids have all got whatever, the Undertaker, if they want to put Ken and Barbie in a little coffin, you can adjust the size. You know, I'm not judging.
No?
So I'm being very careful to hold this because I don't want any creases, any rips. I just want all the way around the edges, just nice and distressed. A little bit like every mum this week when the kids went back to school.
When the sun came out.
Distressed just a little bit round the edges. So that's it. We've got those 3 pieces. We're going to put those 2 to the side. And then what we're going to move on to do is we're going to create, in fact, actually, yeah, we're going to create the sides for this. We're going to do this like an exploding box.
Okay.
So hence me saying this is the easiest way for me to show you, because we're going to create those sides with a tab and attach them to each side. And then in future, if you decide to make this out of a 12 by 12 piece of card, so it's 6 by 12, because you can add all those separate sides on separately, it means it's easier for you to work out the measurements, and it just means that you can adjust that to whatever size you want to go to. I did do this a couple of different ways, and this is the easiest way I found to be able to do it for you. So what we're going to do is, first of all, before you even move on, double check your measurements, because like I said, that tiniest little bit out at one end can affect what size piece we need to cut for these. So that is still 2 inches, happy with that. So that is roughly 2 3/4 on mine, which I think are the measurements I've got down. Let me just turn my pieces over. So that's 5 1/2. Again, I know that that one's going to be 2. And then that one is just over 5 1/2. Right, so we're going to bring in again. I mean, if yours is incredibly out, then, you know, just do it again. But it's a coffin. It doesn't have to be perfectly sized. And again, you've distressing edges, and we're going to coffin it up. Is that even a word? So it's going to look fabulous. Right, so we're going to cut 2 pieces at 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2. That's 1, and that's 2. And then we want 2 pieces, 3 inches by 2 1/2. So I know that that's 2 1/2 inches wide. So let's trim that one down to 3 inches. And that one. And then we need 2 at 6 inches. So let's trim that down to 6 inches by 2 1/2. So they're all 2 1/2 high, because my box is going to be 2 inches, and then that half is the tab. I need 2, don't I? 1, 2. So let's pop that to the side. So we've got 2 at 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. We've got 2 at 3 by 2 1/2. And we've got 2 at 6 by 2 1/2. So I'm just thinking, do you think we should have a little break?
You want a little break? Of course we can.
Before we go on to score and attach all those. Just thought it was a good time.
Excellent, thank you very much. Just to say as well, a lot of love for that Crafter's Companion ruler that has inches on it. As I thought, and Gracie was telling me it was the case, so that did launch when the original template library launched in America, because America, of course, predominantly go in inches. We've been doing it more and more here in the UK. We may have some sort of little set launching very soon that may involve inches on a ruler. Just saying, just saying. So we're not leaving you out, there's something coming. Righto, let's dip in and let's have a look at Katie, see how she's getting on with her craft along, making sure everything is okay. Hi Katie, how are you doing?
Not so bad, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing very well, thank you very much for asking. You following along okay with Michelle's instructions?
Yeah, they are excellent as ever. I am getting there. Yeah, I've got the same ruler that Michelle has. Mine's in centimetres as well, which is really annoying.
I know. I think a lot of people just think that the UK all deal within, of course, centimetres, where a lot of us don't actually. We do prefer inches. So I'm glad that I was able to just to let you all know that there is something coming very, 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 very soon when it comes to rulers and measurements with inches. So I'm glad that you are getting on okay. Are you, I didn't ask beforehand, are you just making this for a little bit of home decor? Are you going to be using it for anything specific?
Most of my projects are generally labelled as a disaster. So we shall wait and see till the end because, yeah, the only thing I normally make is a mess. So we'll see.
Well, I am sure and I am positive by the end with Michelle's instructions. Hence why when I'm on this side with a craft along, I do like to try and stay as quiet as I can so everyone can follow with the measurements. But once again, Katie, if you need any questions answered to that, just raise your hand so Charlotte can see and then we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Then if you get on okay, we'll dip back into you just shortly. Oh, I can't wait to see what Katie does. I can't wait to see what you do as well. Don't forget as well, when it comes to social media, do post any of your makes across on social media. Give Michelle a tag, Michelle McCarthy CC. You're more than welcome to tag me as well. But with Michelle doing the one doing the craft along, it would be good for you to give her a tag and see what she's saying. So as I say, Michelle McCarthy CC. It's both Instagram and Facebook, as well as all of the team with CC at the end of their name. Right here, we'll give you a little bit of a recap with a few things just in a moment. But what we're going to do is just let anyone catch up. Let us just get our heads together again, see what next step we're going to go to next with the craft along. We'll be back just in a couple of minutes after this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
If you love Crafters TV, we've made it easy for you to watch us wherever you are. Whether you catch us on your tablets or take us with you on your mobile phone, it's easy to watch us anywhere. From here to here. Maybe don't watch us here. It would be easy to watch us here. Probably the easiest place to watch us is here. Crafters TV, with you wherever you are.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer but come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. Love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
Suzanne is saying, I haven't got this collection, but I'm still watching. It's all learning, and that's the key thing when it comes to the craft along. Maybe you don't have the collection. The intention is always for you to be able to come and purchase the collection, but as we've had a run as of the last few months, whereas the collections sell out before the craft along is all about those that have purchased it. But then you'll be able to use all different collections as well. Okay, yes, your coffins, you do tend to assume for, of course, Halloween, don't you? But when it comes to any of the craft alongs, you'll be able to use any collections you want. It's all about the measurements and the instructions. Stephanie is saying, thanks for using the inches. Yeah, inches are a big helping hand for me as well, because I use them. But that being said, we're not going to go over anything else. What we're going to do is we're going to go straight back to Michelle, and we're going to carry on with this craft along.
I must admit, I've got to admit, I mean, I just thought I'd picked up my normal ruler, but then when I went to use it and there's inches, I can't tell you how happy it made me. So what Craig was just saying makes me even happier. Right, so you wouldn't think someone could get so excited about a ruler?
Oh, no, you could. You could.
Oh, absolutely. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to score all these. So I did say that they're all going to be 2 inches high, so you know that that's 2.5. So you know that we're going to put a 1/2 inch tab on the bottom of all these. So bringing in my scoring tool, I'm going to score at 2.5. No, I'm not. I'm going to score at 2 because then that gives me my 1/2 inch tab. So I'm going to score that at 2. All 6 of them, we're just going to score. So I'm going to score these on the long side, obviously, at that 2 inches. So these next ones, so this is 2.5 by 3 inches. So you know that you're not going to score it on the long side because then that's going to give me the wrong tab. So you know to turn it round to the short side, score it at that 2 inches, and I've got that that 1/2 inch tab. Now I'm lining all mine up together. We're doing this tab first, scoring them all at that 2 inch, because then we're going to do the side tab. And so 2 inches on that one, and 2 inches on that one. So the reason I've done them all first is because each one is just going to have one tab on the side. So we're going to attach them all round the sides of the coffin. So if I bring my coffin in, this one's going to go underneath, and you can see that it's a little bit longer. So if I bring it that way, you can see that it's a little bit longer. So it means each one is just going to have one tab to glue to the next, to glue to the next. So we need to make sure that we do them in order. So when we put them together, if this has got a tab on that side, but another one's got the tab on that side, then it means when I'm putting them two together, there's no tab there. So we need to make sure all your tabs are either on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Does that make sense? They all need to be on the same side as each other. So we know that this is going to be scored at 2 inches. So with my tab bit here at the bottom, I'm going to scar 2 inches here. I keep putting a H in front of my inches. So I'm going to 2 inches. I'm trying to be posh. Just 2 inches. So tab at the bottom, tab here. So I'm going to move that down. With my tab at the bottom here, I'm going to scar at 2 inches. I either missed the I on my inches or I had a H.
had an H.
So you can see I've got my tab is on the right hand side of these and that one's on the bottom.
Okay.
So both my tabs are on that side. They all need to be on the same side so they attach. So when you're popping these down to scarf, you've always got your tab either at the bottom or at the top. You know whichever way it is that you're scarring correct. So these are, so what did I say? Let me just check my measurements because I don't want to go wrong. So what did I say? So I'm going to give them all a 1/2 inch tab, aren't I? Right, so that scar line at the bottom, let's add that 1/2 inch tab here. And then the same on this one, tab at the bottom, scarring at 2.5 inches. And bring this one in again. I've got my tab at the bottom and we're going to scar this at 5.5 inches. And then the same with this one. On that long side, tab at the bottom, scarring at 5.5 inches. Let's just move that out of the way. So you can see now, it's almost like when you make a bag. All my tabs are going to attach as they go around the box.
Okay.
So let's just scar and burnish.
I mean, I wouldn't even think of that, Michelle.
Yeah, I
Your
did put a lot
mind
of
is epic.
thinking into it. And the thing is, so, I mean, when I was originally doing it, you can have that one at the top and I could put 2 tabs on that one. I could have put 2 tabs on that one. And then on this one, it only needs 1 tab and it gets confusing. So to just make it the simplest way possible is always my aim. So whenever we create these, we always need to trim that little corner piece away. So I'm going to go on an angle on the bottom bit, but this side tab I'm going to cut straight across. Because when I pop it on here, I want it to, let me bring that down a little bit, it's going to go straight round. If I have that notch coming out, when I add the next bit to it, it's going to leave me too much gap at the bottom, if that makes sense. So I want that nice and straight across. So I'm going to trim that down. So I've just put a little notch on an angle at the bottom bit, but the side bit is going to go straight across. I'm going to do the same. Just a small little notch. We'll do them all before I scar it. So an angled notch there, but bringing it straight across there. And then a little angle out there.
Okay.
And exactly the same on them all. Just a tiny little angle there, straight across there. And the same there. So on all of these, we're going to do exactly the same. Little, just a small angle and straight across. I couldn't figure out which way was the right. Remembering my tabs on the side are always on the right hand side. I just couldn't figure that out then. Because this is the one that's 2.5 by 2.5. So it threw me a little. You might have your tabs on the left hand side. As long as they're all on the left hand side, it doesn't matter. You probably do what I do as well. Turn something round 7 times until you get back where you started anyway. So let me get rid of these. So my 2 longer ones, 2 medium, and my 2 smaller. So let me finish burnishing all of these up. So this last one, I think that's them all burnished. So what I'm going to do before I stick these together is I'm just going to bring in, where is it? My quick dry black. These sides here and the top, you don't have to, but I want to. I'm just going to take that white edge away. Because again, as it's going around my box, if I bring you my box in to show you what I mean, where they join here, you would see that white edge. I don't want to see that white edge, so we're going to ink it up before we stick them all together.
Okay.
This tab side doesn't matter because that's going to be on the inside of my box, and then it's going to be covered in some pattern paper, so you're not going to see it. But that edge there we want to get rid of. And the top, if you want to, it's entirely up to you. So just on those edges. The next one. And again, so I've used my quick dry. I'd like to say it's so I don't get inky fingerprints everywhere, but even with the quick dry, I can manage to do that.
If there's a will, there's a way.
I love that. Right, so you start wherever you want. You can start with the biggest piece, you can start at the top, entirely up to you. But just as an exploding box, all we're going to do is we're going to glue that tab underneath first. So we're going to use tacky glue because it's the Centura Pearl. So let's pop some glue just on that bottom tab for now. And then we're going to pop that over there. So I have cut mine the tiniest little bit short. You need to make sure that that tab is going to go around the edge. So even though it's the tiniest little bit short, I can either just go recut another one, or that tiny little bit I can get away with. So that's why I said at the beginning, even though when you've cut it, you go around and measure all your sides. So this one is 5 5/8 of an inch. This one is 5 4/8 of an inch. So when you've cut your piece, so just say for instance, let me bring this in. Cut a piece, what did I say, 5 5/8. So cut a piece 7 inches long. Pop it right next to it. Where's my pencil? Pop it right next to it and put a pencil mark there. And then you know that that's where you need to create a tab.
Gotcha.
So pop that onto your scoreboard, score that line up there, and then add your tab. Because it's going to differ just a little bit to mine, most probably. But I can get away with that, so it'll be all right. So then let's pop this bottom one on. So as you see, can you see how the tabs are going to fall around each other, which is why each one just needs one tab. So we're going to glue that bottom tab and then stick that under and then just hold it. So what I always do is I lift this up and then I push this bottom bit right into that crease there, and it means it's exactly where it needs to be. I've got no wonkiness or anything going on. It's just going to fit perfectly.
It's one of those things, Michelle, that even if it is a bit wonky, it's a project that you get away with it. It's a coffin, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So just lightly tack it together. When you come to decorate it, work it in with the design.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to work because we're doing it as an exploding box. So the sides are like that exploding box. So now when I bring that up, even though it was a little bit short on this side, it's still going to glue together perfectly. And if it doesn't glue together perfectly and you've stuck it together and you think, I really don't want to do it again, maybe have it hanging. Look, I'm missing all my letters, aren't I? Maybe
just you wait, Debbie's in tomorrow with you.
Maybe have it hanging off a little bit, almost like a wooden coffin that's rotting and, you know, it's splintering apart. You can still, there's always, like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this one to my next one. one piece at a time. You don't have to. You could glue all your sides on and then bring these together. There we go. So you can see it's made no difference at all that mine was just that little bit short. It's still going to sit together beautifully. So just giving it a bit of a burnish to get it just grabbing, and then we're going to come in this with this one. So again, you can see, because my tabs are all on the same side, there's always a tab to stick to the next one. I got into such a habit last week, the last time I was up, of shaking this to get the glue out, that every time I picked up a tape pen, I was shaking the tape pen, I picked up the glue gun, I was shaking the glue. Charlotte's laughing because she was up with me. Everything I picked up, I shook to get the glue out.
I get it, because it's habit. You do it with the little applicator, don't you? I do it too.
So there we go. So push again, lift that up, push it together, so you get that lovely, nice, clean join there, exactly where it needs to be.
At least you weren't doing it with like the kettle or something.
Oh gosh. Picking the kettle up and checking that to make sure. All my tabs I'm gluing on the inside. It just makes it nice and neater on the outside. So let's pop some glue on this. I mean, you could be using your red liner tape if you want to on this. Whatever glue is your preference. If you're quite happy and confident using the red liner, then absolutely do that. I think it's always worth using a wet glue on top of a red liner if you want that added extra strength on there. I think it's whatever. I think we all have that preference, don't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
There we go. So all I'm doing, I'm just holding on to it until I know it's grabbed. So next piece, this is one of those side pieces again. And again, you'll always see me pop it on, make sure that I'm happy with it before I add any glue to anything. It's all back to the measure twice, cut once thingamabob. I just always like to make sure I'm more than happy with it before I commit. Just checking, I thought I'd picked the wrong piece up then. There we go. So again, pushing those together, making sure that the edge where it goes around the corner is where it needs to be bang on. If this bit is a little short, because I've got that tab there, it's going to be absolutely fine. We're going to be decorating around the outside as well, but it's still going to. So this side is a perfect example. I'm going to show you in a second. Let me just make sure that bottom's grabbed before I move it. I've done it a little bit too short. So making sure that tab is in line with where it goes around the corner is key. Right. So even though you can see that that's a lot shorter there, I don't know what I did with that. I must have measured that with my eyes shut. It's a lot shorter there. But because my tab is going round the corner from this side, it doesn't matter. Now, if I'd have left it too short at this side, my tab wouldn't go around the corner at all, if that makes sense.
And again, that could just be the wooden join in the coffin.
Absolutely. I mean, you were going to measure and score these with your eyes open, unlike me. So again, let's pop some glue on here. So I'm not going to cover that whole tab up because I know I'm a little short. Well, do you know, it's the story of my life, a little short. Short people problems. Anyone else have to climb on the shelves in the supermarket to reach the top one?
No.
Just me? I bet Leanne does.
Bet she does. She'll just look for the cute shop attendant. Flutter her eyes as Leanne does.
So, right, let's get this next one on. So you can see how easy it follows round. So you can see why I said you're going to very easily be able to create this in so many different sizes, because you're not having to worry about all those measurements and then cutting and scarring.
No.
Because we're doing it as an exploding box, it doesn't matter. If you've got 2 sides that are 3 inches, 2 that are 5 and 2 that are 7, you still know that you're going to be able to do it because of the way we're putting it together.
Just so that you know how well you're explaining it, Michelle. We've got Fred171 saying, Michelle made this easy enough that even I can do it. Thanks, in big capital letters. Brenda saying, definitely replaying this. I'll be making it. And Rad Rachel saying, just bob it on there, Rachel. Job's a good in. So, everyone's following along with you. Or those that are going to be making it afterwards are finding it really easy to be following along with you.
That's good. That's good. Well, this is what we want, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I always thought I'm not a natural teacher.
I feel like that.
Yeah. I really enjoy doing these craft-alongs because I really like to pass along all the different ways that you can do this construction. And I want to take away, when people look at something and think, I can't do that, actually I want people to look and think, I know how to do that now, to be able to break it down. The thing is, when the kids come home from school when they're little and they've got all the homework, and you want them, you try to sit down with your kids, and after 2 seconds, you're screaming at them because they're not listening to you. Because it's funny, I've got no patience for my own kids. I've got patience for my kids. I haven't got patience for my kids and homework.
Right,
and I know that's not just me. Oh my goodness.
Well, my cousins both of them are in their 20s, Lou and Dan. And even when they were at high school, that's going back a good couple of years ago, even when I looked at homework back then, I was like, what is this?
They'd come home with maths homework and I'd be like, oh, I were good at maths, I can help you with this. And I'd be showing them how to do, I don't know, long division or whatever. And she'd be like, well, you don't do it like that anymore. I'm like, how do you not add or take away or time something different? I mean, so she'd show me and I'd be like, no.
Nope.
So actually it was me who was screwing it up and throwing it away, not the kids. Surely if you can add, you can add.
Exactly, yeah.
So, right, last little bit, we're going to glue that tab there, and then this final tab that I'm going to tuck on the inside, we need to pop glue on, and we will glue these two together. So again, let me bring in just this paper clip. That can hold that together for me for a second, and I can be bringing this together. So mine has just come from underneath a little. It's just pushing it back under. Sometimes you feel like you need 3 pairs of hands. There we go. Let me bring in, again, just another paper clip, just to hold that, because I just want to go in there and press that down because it just hadn't quite grabbed. But for all intents and purposes. So you saw that even though a couple of my sides were a little short, it's made no difference. It has there, so you can see it there, but that's fine because of the way we're going to decorate it. I'll pop a coffin there or one of the little houses. I just needed to, how far out? I'm like 3 inches out. Maybe not so much, 3 inches, maybe not, maybe like a quarter of an inch.
You definitely need to check your eyes on the measurements there.
So let's take that last bit off there. Let's move that because I think that's grabbed fine. And I'm quite happy with that. So bringing this in, it's going to sit on there. And obviously we're going to decorate that in a minute. But shall we leave it there?
Yeah.
And then see how... Katie?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Let's do that before we take a little bit of a break. We'll jump back. We'll see how Katie's getting on. Are we getting on okay?
Hello.
How are you getting on?
I'm currently pretending to be an octopus now while I hold everything together as it's gluing.
It's gotcha. I see what you mean.
I'm not as prepared as Michelle. I don't have any paper clips to hand.
No, well, do you know something? I wouldn't have any either. So if I was doing it at home, so I would just be holding my hands as well. But you still following along okay with Michelle's instructions?
Yep, we're still following on. Had a bit of a change of plan on things, but yeah, I'm going. We're doing well.
Well, that's the good thing with the craft along. You can always make it as Michelle or whoever it is that's doing the craft along the way that they intended, or you can mix it up slightly, you can change it slightly, you know, it's entirely up to yourself. So the main thing is that, of course, that you're finding that absolutely straightforward to follow along. And what we'll do is we'll let you get back to holding it all down, Katie, and we'll come back to you just shortly. Okie dokie.
In a bit.
Rightio, right, we are going to be having a look at a couple items first before we do go to the break, and when we'll come back from the break, we'll go back straight to Michelle. So this first one we're going to be having a look at is the 4-piece cardstock collection. As I said earlier on, the 4-piece doesn't do it justice. It's the 80 sheets, and in actual fact, it's 80 plus sheets, which we'll explain in a moment. What you are going to be getting is your Shedless Glitter black cardstock. Now, within the Shedless Glitter, you're getting 10 sheets. Each of these ones are 250 GSM. Now, yes, you can cut and emboss with them, but if you've got things such as your Cricut, your Scan and Cut, your Silhouette, any of those machines, you'll be able to cut with them like an absolute dream. Now, not only are you going to be getting the black, you're going to be getting the copper. So once again, 10 sheets, A4, 250 GSM as well, and that is your copper. Then what you're going to be getting is your luxury cardstock. Now, you're going to get your purple. So you're going to be getting your 10 Shedless Glitter, 10 mirror, and 10 of the satin. Now, we say 30 sheets within this pack. It's actually 30 and a bit because the 2 panels at the front aren't included within the count. So essentially, totally, you're getting about 82 sheets of cardstock, because that works exactly the same with the luxury red. You're going to be getting 10 Shedless Glitter, 10 of your mirror, 10 of your satin, and these 2 panels at the front here, they are not included in the count. So therefore, as we are saying, 80 sheets, but it's really about 82 sheets where you're getting the luxury red, luxury purple, copper glitter, and then you're getting the black glitter as well. All of these ones are A4 in size. So you're going to get that for £19 or $30 with a saving of 30%. When it comes to the platinum price, it's £15.20 or $24. And just to let you know, when it comes to the luxury card bundles, these ones are roughly, give or take a penny, they're 10 quid on their own, £9.99. So you can see the value that you've got when it comes to this full set here. So that is your cardstock bundle. What we are going to do is we're going to go in a completely different direction before we go to the break here, and we're going to head to Christmas time. The reason being is we are getting very, very, very low in the quantity of the advent calendars. When they're gone, they're gone. With it being a Christmas advent calendar, we won't be replenishing this stock because the advent calendar, of course, is for December time and December time only. What I do want you to know, though, is when it comes to the contents of the advent calendar, because I know what's behind every single door, it's only a very select few that are Christmas themed. Everything else is themed towards spring, summer, autumn and winter. Purpose being, by the 24th of December, you're going to have a comprehensive crafting collection. Most of the items within here are non-consumable items, so therefore, if you look after them, they're going to last you a lifetime. Now, 24 doors, however, you've got 63 crafty elements in total, because you've got a combination of your stencils, folders, stamp and dies. That's things that you've been familiar with over the last few years. Within this advent calendar this year, you've got some new additions, which I'm not going to go into until December time. Maybe you've heard Sarah and the rest of the team talk about them. I'm not going to, but we have got some new additions when it comes to our advent calendar this year. And I will absolutely be doing all of the tuition as well for them. So what I want you to do is, if you're going to be purchasing this, or if you've already purchased it and you're not already across on my Facebook page, head across there, Craig Laird CC. Every single day throughout December up until the 24th, I'll be dropping, predominantly there'll be videos daily, but then every now and again I'll be doing a Facebook Live. And what I do is I make something with each item behind each door, and the video or the live will drop every single day on my Facebook page, also across on my YouTube channel as well. What I will be doing as well as, for example, when it comes to like day number 15, say, not only will I use what's behind door number 15, I'll start to bring and combine some of the items that's been behind the previous doors as well, just to give you a lot of creative play when it comes to what you've got within your advent calendar. So please remember, once they're gone, they are gone, because of course, as I say, that's the purpose of an advent calendar, being December themed. It's beautifully designed. It's gorgeous in the effect of the illustration. But what you have got is you've got that really epic price at $49.99 or $59.95, and you've got a platinum price of $39.99 or $47.96. That is your Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar for 2023. Grab yours now before it is gone. Right, we are going to give you a little moment or two to, of course, pop the kettle on, get something to eat, or, of course, have a little recap with what you need to do. And then when we come back, we'll go straight back to Michelle and we'll carry on with this craft along.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Are we in trouble or are we all right?
Yeah.
Should be coming in. Should be coming. What does she do? Exactly how she looks.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
And I watch you every day, and it's just what really gets you through when you're really at rock bottom.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comfort of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the product.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other, where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
Massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Rosalind is saying, I'm with you, Michelle. The item I am always looking for is at the top and the back of the shelf. Olga is saying you're both great teachers. Thank you, Olga. Appreciate that. Fred171 saying, love Michelle's projects. Rennie is saying, Michelle's directions are always so right on and so easy to follow. P.S. Craig's, yours are too. Oh, thank you, Marianne. We've got, sorry, that was Rennie. We've got Marianne that said, the new maths is stupid. I just do it the old-fashioned way. Hazel is saying it's looking fabulous, Michelle. Stephanie is saying this is coming on great. Rhonda is saying it's really coming along nicely, Michelle. And Stephanie is saying looking forward to your Christmas Advent calendar presentations, Craig. Thank you very much, Stephanie. I appreciate that. We're going to go straight across to Michelle, but just a heads up, over the weekend you've got the gorgeous, my beautiful friend Debbie Robinson's going to be here on this side all weekend. So you're going to have Debbie and Michelle all day tomorrow, and then two of the best friends. They're working together for the first time in the studio. You've got Debbie and you've got Jan all day on Sunday. Debbie, of course, on this side, Jan across on that side. So it's definitely 2 shows over the weekend, or 2 days of shows over the weekend not to be missing, because I know that Michelle's got a couple of craft-alongs tomorrow as well, haven't you? You have indeed.
Forward to him, she says.
It's going to be good.
Yes.
It's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That being said, let's just crack on with the craft-along, Michelle.
Right, absolutely. Yes, I was just thinking about Debbie.
Yeah, I think about Debbie quite a lot as well.
I don't know what I'm doing now.
Sorry.
So you can see how it fits, and how, even though, well, now we've distressed those edges, there's just, you know, I said I was a millimetre out. I'm absolutely not now, because I've distressed my edges. I'm not out at all. It was just...
I'm out.
I'm out. Oh, right. Bringing in my scarboard. I think we need to cut this down first. So we're going to use our guillotine or trimmer first. Again, so bringing in another piece of card. So again, I thought the easiest way to create a lid is not to try and do all those measurements, because I can. It would just take the 2 hours maybe. So the easiest way to do it is, I know that that's 2 inches wide, and I know that that's 8 inches long. So we're going to create a normal box lid that's going to be just shorter than that 2 inches. So we're going to create a box lid that is 1 7/8 of an inch wide by 7 7/8 of an inch wide. So we're creating it like we would any normal box. So we're going to cut our card down to 8 7/8 by 2 7/8. So let's go this way. So 8 7/8 by 2 7/8. And we're going to score that on all 4 sides at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to turn it over and make it easy for me. So all 4 sides at 1/2 inch, like any normal box lid.
Okay.
So we're turning it all the way round. And because we haven't made a traditional box, I can't create this on the box lid side. So that is why, if I know it's 2 inches wide, I know that I will do it at that 1/8 of an inch. If you struggle with those 1/8 of an inches, they're on your scoreboard and they're also on your trimmer.
Yeah.
But if you do still struggle with it, then cut it or measure it to the 2 inches, and then just trim that little extra bit off. And it's going to give you exactly the same. Fold it under and then burnish it. You're going to get a perfect score line every single time. Right, so it's exactly the same as any normal box lid. We're going to trim. Oh, I've cut the wrong side, haven't I? That's all right. Any normal box lid, you're going to trim that way. I've trimmed that way, but it really doesn't matter, because for one, you're not going to see it underneath my box. And for two, you're not going to see it underneath my box lid.
No, true.
So don't forget that you cut the notch away from your little tab, not from the box side. As soon as I was cutting it, I knew I'd done it wrong, but it was too late. So again, we're just going to glue all 4 of these. So I'm going to use my tacky glue, because it's that Centura pearl. So for all 4 sides. And then just fold those over. So I'm going to bring in some of my little paper clips just to help while I'm losing the ability to speak. You know when someone's concentrating because their speech goes so slow. So that one, there we go. So let's pop that one on there and then we'll hold this last one. So just making sure my sides are all nice and straight. Let's take that one off there and pop it on there a second. So that's grabbed lovely. Sometimes when the weather is ever so warm, your glue can take so long to grab. So I'm just running my finger along there. It just makes my sides nice and straight.
Good up.
So when I bring this here now, you can see that it fits perfectly.
Oh my God, genius. Absolutely genius, because I thought you were going to repeat the whole of the outer shape that you've done, but on a thinner scale.
Yeah. No, so the thing is, that's going to sit in because when I've glued it underneath here, that's obviously going to sit on top. That's going to sit on the inside, and you've got your box lid.
Incredible.
So let's pop that to the side. So these are my 2 box lid pieces. Now what I did on my original one was I used my circle nesting dies, and I'm not sure whether they were on the recipe just there when I read it out.
I can't remember seeing them.
So just my circle nesting dies, all I did, we're going to cut out a circle because what I did, if I bring it in and show you, so I've cut out a circle with my nesting die, and I've got my little skull and crossbones just on the inside because if I turn this to the side, this my box lid, I've put it onto some foam just so, again, just as decorative element. I've got my skull and crossbones in there, and then I've got a little cobweb. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to bring in my nesting dies. So, I mean, any nesting die, it's entirely up to you. Decide which size that you want. You might, I always bring in whatever element it is. So it is my skull and crossbone. I'm going to just pop it down. I'm going to see if I'm happy with that one or if I want to go for a bigger one. I think we'll go for the next size up. But whatever size that you pick, you need to make sure that it's not wider than this, because if it's sitting on top of there and I cut this circle wider than this, then you're going to see it through. You're going to see the edges of your box coming through the circle that's going to be on here. So I'm going to go for the smaller one because this still fits in it perfectly. So this coffin lid is where we're going. So again, roughly, it's entirely up to you if you want it further to the top, further down. I roughly went in line with those corners there. And I'm just going to take this down. And I'm going to run it through. Yeah. Yeah, you maybe might not want to peek into the coffin, but I was just thinking if you wanted to add acetate as well, you could have the little skull and crossbones shaking like a mini shaker element if you wanted to.
You know what you could do? You know, if you've got someone, you know how you've always got like an uncle or someone like that's got like a sadistic sense of humour?
Yes.
You could get a picture of their face and stick it to the back.
Yes.
So it's if you're seeing their face through the coffin.
You could, you absolutely could.
I've not seen that, Charlotte. Oh, yeah, okay. Or Charlotte's saying, or if it's someone that you don't like, put a picture of them. Katie's laughing. Katie's laughing.
What I'm going to do now is, I don't have my textured cardstock with me. So again, if I bring this in, I use the purple. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're going to cut it. I'm going to cut it out white. If you've got your textured cardstock, then you use it. So the circle size that I've just used to cut that out, and the next one up, we're going to run through. And it doesn't matter that I don't have my purple cardstock with me, because I've got a purple ink next to me, and I'll just ink it up purple. And then we've got exactly the same sort of effect going on anyway. So let's just run that through. I've thrown all my circle dies everywhere, so I'm going to try and find those. There's a star on the floor from earlier somewhere.
Well, we've still not found it, have we?
Tracy's not in though, so there's no one to tell me off.
She's back on Monday though.
Right, so let's pop this out. Let's get rid of that tape.
I think we've got Jake in all weekend. Oh, James is in tomorrow.
Oh.
Because Tracy's on holiday. Sam done a tremendous job yesterday. James is in tomorrow, Jake's in Sunday.
Let me grab my purple opaque. That's quick dry. I'm ink on this. I'm going to make sure that it fits round. I'm very happy with that. I could leave it white. It'd look lovely white. But I'm just going to ink it. And again, I don't need to bring in one of my blending tools. I can just do it quickly enough like this. And again, I'm doing mine purple. You might not want one on at all. You might have a different colour in mind. So pop that to the side, and then we're just going to pop that on there.
Oh, that's cool.
It frames it. I think when you cut an aperture, it's always nice if you can to be able to frame it.
Always.
There we go. Oh. I'm not worried about that because I know we've got all that decorative element going over the top. So I don't need to worry about that. Right, there we go. So, really, mostly now, it's just about decorating it up. So that's going to go, because I've got that pencil line on this one still, I know I can line that up absolutely perfectly. So if you are doing this, use the one with the pencil line on for the lid, because then you know that you can line it up. We're going to pop foam on there. So either your foam pads or your foam on a large wheel.
It's all right, you can say foam in a roll when I'm about. I'm not going to
because you didn't sing it, do you?
I don't sing it.
And again, so be careful where you put your foam, because if I put the foam too close to where my aperture is, you're going to see it through. So what I tend to do is I'm going to sit that right next to it, and I know that I'm going to go up to roughly there. Because it's the lid, it doesn't have to be exact. It's not going to make any difference to any sort of ability of use. It's just decorative. So I don't need to worry that it's not all fully supported by foam, because it doesn't need to be. So again,
when I was on with Ben this afternoon on QVC Extra, I'd said foam on a roll, and I could see out the corner of my eye he was mouthing the song.
What's it? I love that. Let's move that. Oh yeah, I can imagine that the QVC audience, I think they need to learn the song. Can you imagine?
They'll not learn it from me, Michelle.
Right, so I've got my foam on, and I know that I've got it, when I pop that on there, I'm not going to be seeing any of that foam coming through. So now we can pop it over the top. So poke it all. And again, you might not want to give it the dimension that I'm giving it. You might just want to glue it on there flat. Again, that's entirely up to you. It's your creation. So let's pop this.
I suppose as well, because you're adding that extra bit of height to the back of the lid, it's then going to be giving the lid that little bit more of a slotability, because it's making the lid deeper.
Yes.
It's then just going to make it even more snugger.
Yeah.
Snuggle.
Yeah,
Snuggler.
absolutely. So I've put mine on wonky, so I'm just going to shush it to the side. There we go. And let's check it out. So it's slotted on.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely perfectly. I mean, it's a little wonky where I've just tried to peel my foam, but again, we're going to be putting some papers on there and some decoration. You can just see it peeking out, and that's really going to bother me because I've gone wonky at the top. So let me just adjust it.
I need to speak to Leanne to see about getting black foam pads and foam on a roll.
Yeah. Someone else, I think, messaged me, can we get black? And I was like, something we definitely need to do. Yeah, I mean, you can colour the edges, but, you know, it would be so much easier to just have...
Certainly with black. Certainly with black.
Yeah. Right, so the first thing I want to do is just bringing in a little bit of white card. We're going to quickly just run this particular piece through. You can be running... I'm going to bring in some smaller plates. Let's just pop this on here. So I'm just using just some white card for this one. So pop that on there and run that through. Let's move those big plates. And the bonus about the new Gemini is it's all quicker. A lot quicker. I'm saying a lot quicker. You don't have to wait really long for the original one. Right, popping it out. My desk is such a mess. I'm glad you can only see that bit there. Thanks, Charlotte.
That was
very funny.
Charlotte.
That was very quick as well.
It was very quick.
So either with your tacky glue or your dotty tape pen, we're going to pop that in. And I'm just checking the time. So I'm going to go dotty tape pen. So I want to make sure that...
Are the dots still in stock? Do you know what I've seen that's coming? Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know about the dotty. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just going to leave that right there for you. So popping this on. Again, just pop it on. There you go.
Yeah, dots are in stock.
Dots are in stock?
Individual dotty tape runners still in stock.
That.
Yeah.
There we go. So this is where we're going to start decorating it up. Now I've got to say, before I glue my base to this, I've just had an idea, and I didn't do it with mine, but you might want to be able to do it with yours. Let me just move my lid. So this is my base, and I'm going to glue this flat. I'm going to put some pattern paper under it in a minute, but if you really wanted to, if you got either some acetate or a real long sheet of card and fold it, it's a concertina it, you know, like in, obviously, you know what a concertina is, in an M shape.
Mm-hmm.
If you glue that underneath there, you've got one of those wibbly coffins.
Genius.
I know. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. I'm really impressed with myself. So it's literally, it's gluing either one M shape in the middle or two smaller ones, you know, have a bit of a play, but you're going to have, look, why did I not think of that before? A lovely wibbly.
Brilliant idea.
So just putting that out there. So I want to see lots of wibbly, wobbly
coffins.
So right, before I glue this on here, we're going to pop some patterned paper underneath. I used my 6x6 because the imagery is a lot smaller. So I'm going to pop that out because I want to use that one on my top piece. But as for the bottom, pick whichever you want. I'm just going to go orangey. I think this one. So I'm going to pop it here. I'm going to turn it over. Let me bring my scissors in and I'm going to trim it. I don't need to trim it exactly because I don't want it going exact. I just want to trim it so it's going to fit just on that bottom bit, because again, we're going to give it some distressing and it's going to be sat underneath the coffin, so you're not going to see lots of it anyway. So again, I'm going to rip, because I don't need it all underneath. Let's rip that away. What I want is when that's on there, you can see it higher at this side and lower at that side. So we're going to distress it. And again, it doesn't, we can go a little bit rougher this time. If we get lots of little rips and things, that's all good. So all the way up there. And then if you want to, those white bits, if you don't want all those white bits, just move that up a little bit. Add a little bit of ink onto some of them. It just takes that starkness away. But again, that's entirely up to you. So I'm going to pop that on there and let me trim that edge down because that's just a little too long. And it's sort of a bit of a rinse and repeat, this bit. Okay. Getting it to where and how big or how much you want to be seeing. So that one's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to glue that down. Just going to add a little bit more ink there. And then let's pop. And again, it's Centura Pearl, so I'm going to use my tacky glue. Popping that on there. And don't glue all these edges down. Allow them to be free. Allow them to come up.
It makes it more rustic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And then I'm going to do the same at the top. So for this bit, I'm going to rip that there and rip that there. And I don't need that bottom piece, but I'm not going to throw them away because I'm absolutely going to be using those. Again, let's distress those edges. Add a little bit of black. I'm not adding any more to my ink door because I don't need to. I'm going to pop that on there. And then a bit of glue. And again, you saw that I didn't glue right up to the edge because I want to be able to lift some of these up. If some's ripped, it looks really good. And then I'm happy with that, so I'm going to glue that on now. So this is entirely up to you. You can pop red line around the edge. If you're going to do that wibbly effect, you're not going to be gluing this one flat down anyway. The choice is yours. So making sure that's nice and in the middle. So I'm happy with that for now. Let's bring in my lid and I'm going to do, no, let's pop that to the side. We're going to do exactly the same. The reason I use the 6x6 is because that imagery on there is a lot smaller and I absolutely love it. So again, I'm going to sort of get that where I want that castle right on there. So let's just pop that over. I'm just going to use my pencil just to mark where I roughly want to cut that out. And again, there's no measurements on this, it's just where and what you want to pop on there. So that fits lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear.
I like the torn effect.
I love the torn effect. I think it's a brilliant way to hide mistakes. If you've gone a little wonky or you've gone a little wrong or that's your last piece of paper and you don't want to waste it, actually a nice rustic effect goes shabby chic and not just this, so it goes with lots and lots of different elements. So I'm happy with that bit there. I'm going to bring in this, and I'm gonna rip that bit there. I'm gonna judge by that top there, and then I'm just gonna, I need it to come round here. So I'm happy with that as well. So again, just distressing, and again, not going to add any more ink to this because I don't want it completely coloured in, just again, little bits of it. So that's going to go there, that's going to go there. So if you can see, if I bring this in, you can see I used a bit of a different image on this one. Not going to glue it down yet, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut some of these out and we're going to be able to glue them underneath. So let's just pop those to the side. I feel like it's a challenge to see how many times I can say so today.
We always get those words, don't we? The certain words that we say over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. So, bring in your plate. And this is where you're going to bring in all those elements of the dies. So we've got the trick or treat with those cobwebs, we've got the haunted house, we've got the wicked witch, and we've got the spooktacular. Now, this is entirely up to you. You can really go to town, die cutting loads of these out. It's definitely one of those more is more kind of projects. So I'm just going to bring that lovely, in fact I'm not going to do the ghost. The ghost is going to go in that lovely Centura pearl, that hint of silver. So don't let me lose that. So popping all of these on. I feel a little bit like while I'm popping all of these on, we should check on Kate.
Katie, do you want to do it just while you're running them through?
Yeah, because all I'm doing is I'm just going to die cut lots of these out in the black.
Absolutely, yeah, that makes sense. I just don't like to take away from what you're doing, but if we're just going to be die cutting, let's do that. Let's stop back across to see how Katie's getting on. She seems to be getting on fine, because I could see from the monitors at the side she's doing exactly as I was about to say, and that is the tearing. Still carrying on just fine there, Katie?
Yep, I'm not doing too badly. I'm a bit OCD with the tearing though, because if it gets too teared, too toned, it really irritates me.
No, I get what you mean. Sometimes, you know, if you try and just be random or organic in the way that you tear, just sometimes you just want it to try and be a perfect tear. So I completely get what you're saying. So I'm glad that you're still on track and you're still enjoying it, which is the main thing. Cannot believe we've got just about 20 minutes to go of the show. So what we'll do is we'll let you get back to, of course, finishing off by following along with Michelle's doing. And then we'll have a look at, say, your finished project just shortly. Rightio. Well, always a good thing about the craft along is when there's no questions and very little comments, that means that all of you are intrigued and you're crafting along, or of course you're watching while Michelle is then doing what she's doing. So back across to you then, Michelle.
Absolutely. So I've just die cut a few of these out. So I'm just popping them out of here. Now, again, on my original box, I've got loads round the side. I've got loads on the top. Again, I said it's a more is more project, and it absolutely is. One of the main reasons I also chose the Centura pearl, so this black, let me just wiggle those free, is it's with a silhouette, so it's really nice to add a bit of white card behind it. But because this is your Centura pearl, where you've got that cut, you've got that white there anyway. So if I bring this in, I've got a silhouette on these without having to have, you can't really see, a white card behind it because the cut is white. So I've got a natural silhouette, so I don't need to, oh, there you go, can you see? You've got that natural white coming through because the back of that Centura pearl is white. So I don't need to add white behind it to give myself that extra sort of low light or highlight or whatever you would call it. So I'm not going to ink the edges, I'm going to leave that white just as it is.
Yeah. Using it in its natural form of a highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do now is, before I glue this down, I'm going to decide where I want those. So that one's definitely going on top of the hill. This is down here in the graveyard. Well, let's trim this because we need a little bit of this in here. So I'm going to trim just a tiny little bit of cobweb and we're going to tuck that in there. So let me use my dotty. I'm very happy to hear that we've got some in stock.
Yeah, so they're $4.99 each or $7.99. That's before you take your Club Inspire off of that. So that's an individual price. So they're there on the website for you to check out if you want to, of course, stock up. Maybe you're going to stock up taking advantage of that buy more, save more incentive that we've got going. Can I just check, Dina, is our buy more, save more, is that just for today or is it over the weekend?
Silence in the gallery.
Oh, yeah, I thought that. I thought he was ignoring me.
He was.
He was ignoring me. Dean, I'm asking the buy more, save more. Is that just for today or is it for over the weekend? 17th of September that ends. So that is, of course, Sunday night. Sunday night. So that will end 7 hours before the brand new very first episode of Neighbours launches on Freeview on Amazon Prime.
I love how you can throw that in all the time.
Oh, I can get Neighbours into anything. I do remember when it ended, yeah. I felt like throwing myself in a coffin when it ended. Because of the public demand, specifically here in the UK, Charlotte's asking, why's Neighbours come back? How's it come back? And it's because of public demand. Amazon seen the public demand here in the UK and brought it back.
I'm so glad. Did you sign the petition?
I did.
I did.
I got even my family members and friends who don't even watch Neighbours,
Yeah.
I got them to sign it.
Did exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my glue gone?
I even signed the petition on my work's email address as well. Grace didn't say that, just letting you know that. Grace, you didn't hear that. So yeah.
Oh, Lynn Scully and Joe Scully.
And
yeah.
Joe.
I like the Scullys.
I wouldn't mind Holly Valance coming back.
Yeah.
She made a brief appearance in the last episode with Natalie Imbruglia. Kylie did come back as well, yeah. Kylie and Jason came back. Yep. Yes, No, they're not. I think a couple of the cast that returned were a bit like, oh, but it was purely because of the public demand that it came back. You know how Joe used to always go on about Eurovision? Just as well I'm not in this weekend, because all you'll get is neighbour talk from me.
Oh, I'm so excited. So all we're doing now is we're just really building up that scene. I've ripped that a little bit too short. Again, absolutely doesn't matter because we've got lots of bits that we can either add on top, or this is where I'm going to bring in my ghost. So I've got my ghost die. I'm going to bring in some of that lovely Centura pearl, if I can reach it. And I'm going to cut all my ghosts. I'm going to probably three or five. I'm not going to go 3 or 4. But let me bring in again my
Can I just say, Scott Mills and Ryland, they're having a discussion in my ear as to who now does Eurovision for the UK. And I'm saying it's Scott Mills and Ryland that do it. Graham Norton doesn't do it anymore.
Oh.
Did
Graham Norton not do it last year? Or is
No.
it just this year?
No, he's not done it for a couple of years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't Alicia Dixon on it last year? On Eurovision?
Oh, I don't know. AJ, I do.
I do.
I think it is. AJ Adudu, it is. She's the new presenter of Big Brother that starts in a couple of weeks. Davina's not done it for years. I told you it's AJ Adudu. That's her name. Anyway, I'm going to rein this back, and I'm just going to say that Grace is letting me know, and her exact words are saying, so many people loving, in great big capital letters, loving this craft along, Michelle.
Oh, I'm really glad. I'm glad. I just hope, I hope that my aim to show you how easy it is to put one together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Has worked. I always think, if all else fails when you're trying to make a box, I know this sounds daft, and you've got an odd-shaped box or you've got an odd-shaped present that you want to create, the premise of an exploding box is absolutely the way to go, because you're going to be able to cut the shape out of a piece of card, and then to add all those side tabs like an exploding box, just like I've shown you, is the easiest way to do it. It just really is. So that's going to be peeking out of there.
It's like Casper.
Yeah. Let's pop that just right under there. And again, I'm not going to get time, I don't think, to decorate all around those edges, but that's absolutely not a problem at all, because you're just going to do exactly the same as what we're doing. You're going to really go to town with just the decoration.
Yeah. Because obviously we'll go for, it goes figured that this is our demo of the show, which I'm not surprised at. And we will just shortly, we'll do demo of the day, although you've got two incredible demos from earlier just at the side of me here, Michelle, I think this could very well pip Sheena, Sheena and me and Debbie to the post of demo of the week.
Sheena picked me the last time,
She
didn't
did, didn't she?
Very well deserved, though. So it's coming together. I've got all my ghosts peeking out of all the sides, but I definitely want to add some more cobwebs on this top piece. So again, let's pop that on here. It's here somewhere. It's there. So it's a lot tidier than what my desk was at home when I'd finished, can I just say?
I wish you would take a picture of your desk once you finish the craft along.
It's just too hard. It's too hard to stay tidy while you're crafting. Oh, see, now that slipped a little bit, but absolutely does not matter, because if you've seen, I'm trimming them down anyway, so it looks like they're coming round the sides, out of corners, things like that. So let's pop that back through just one more time. Let's take that, because I want a full one. I've got lots of bits still. I've got that beautiful coffin. And when you use that Centura pearl, that embossed cross on the front is really, really prominent. It looks great, really stands out. Right, so let's bring my box lid back in. And I've got these cobwebs. So let's use the big one first. Because what we're going to do with this, we're going to have, when I find which one is the release hole, the last one I come to. There we go. So I'm going to have it sort of coming round here. So just going to curve it a little bit and see if I'm happy with that. I'm just going to keep sort of trimming away until it fits round. So there we go. Quite happy with that. And then literally the last thing you're going to do after you've got lots and lots of these on there is, so if I bring it in, those lovely fibres, you're just going to attach them everywhere. And the good thing about these fibres is you can hook them round all these little pieces of ragged edge paper, which is one of the main reasons that I have distressed everything, because you don't necessarily need to add lots of glue, because you can just wrap it up and wrap it round all those edges and it sits absolutely beautifully. The only other thing I've done is I've added a trick or treat, and again you can see that I've just distressed the edges. But what I've done is, so these glitters, they came with those fibres, didn't they? I've literally, because of the fibres, it really does hold the glitter really well. So all I've done is I've just sprinkled it. I haven't glued it, I've got nothing on there. It's just going to sit and it's going to stay in those fibres. So now, if I tap that away and bring it round, it's still all in those fibres.
Great tip.
It's not coming out at all, so that's what I've done. And again, you've got the black there, which will look beautiful in there. Let me pop my lid on.
Great tip about the glitter.
So let's pop this on here. It's going to sit in absolutely beautifully. And then, again, you're going to decorate all around the edges. You're going to have a lot more time to do that. The only other thing I've done is I've decided on, so one of the 12 by 12s, I've picked that one because you've got those lovely strips. And if I show you on the inside, all I've done is I've cut 2-inch strips. So let's pop one out. Do I have enough time to quickly cut 2 strips? It's 12 inches wide, so cut 2 strips just shorter than that 2 inches. It doesn't have to be anything specific. And then, it is here. So then you're just going to pop it, you're going to distress it, you're going to pop it in.
Love it.
Make sure these tuck right into the corner. So you need to make sure they tuck into the corner because your box lid sits on the inside.
Yeah.
If they're not tucked into the corner, your box lid's not going to fit in. So as long as you've distressed them and then just line it round with that first piece and it fits perfectly to there, get your second piece and line it all the way round. Distress it, rip it off.
So good.
Add some more of that. And you've got a coffin box that, again, you can see why I said you can make this any size that you want to.
Oh, Michelle, that is absolutely epic. Absolutely epic. Oh my gosh. We're going to start the demo of the day. We're going to start with that count anyway. You know, if I was a betting man, I know where I'd be putting my money, but who knows, it may surprise us and you may choose one of the other demos from Wake Up Call or Masterclass that Michelle has done. So we've got 3 to choose from. So what Michelle's just done there, yeah, that would be great. If you could bring it across then for Michelle, and we can then bring these ones in here. Perfect, thank you very much. Honestly, that's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Right, you've got a couple of minutes to get your votes in for demo of the day. This was the very first one that Michelle done this morning when she was on with Lily on Wake Up Call using some of the Halloween elements, number 1. Number 2, Michelle done in the middle show was with our Halloween shaped card-based stamp and dies, where she done the pumpkin bunting that we have to be careful when we say it. Trust me, try saying that at home. Pumpkin bunting. It ain't easy. No, I'm not saying it fast because I'll end up swearing. We've then got number 2, and then number 3, we've got, of course, our craft along that Michelle just done there. And do you know something? I am going to agree with Gracie. I'll just say what she said in a moment. So it's number 1, it is number 2, or number 3. The choice is yours. But yes, I agree with what Grace is saying, and she's saying that she's calling demo of the week and month.
Oh.
So that's both me and Grace is saying that. Week and month. Rightio. So, let's drop back to the final time to Katie, see how she's been getting on, see how much she's been enjoying this craft along. Katie, how have you been getting on and have you found a craft along?
It's nearly done. There's my lid. I don't know if you can see that. I went for, after the chat at the beginning and all the horror movies, I went for a sort of red and black, and if anybody knows me well enough that, you know, everything's always red and black with me.
Yeah,
that's the lid. And I did manage to do a bit of the inside of the box.
Oh, wow.
I decided to go with a red, a matte red inside, and then I did the edges like Michelle had done. But instead of using black ink, I went for red to sort of give it a bit of a blood kind of spookier look. So yeah, that was that.
Evil Dead.
Isn't
Very
it
Evil Dead, isn't it? I love that. That is beautiful. That is so much nicer than mine with the red. I love it. Love it.
I did do purple. I went for purple and I cut a load of purple bits and pieces out, and then there was the horror film at the beginning conversation, and I thought, well, it's just gonna have to be red, so
yeah. No, I love that. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'll give you my address to send it to after the show.
Unfortunately, dear old radical Rachel has already claimed it, which is why I was going to do it purple, but the fact that it's red, I'm sure she won't be impressed with it as much anymore, so you're welcome to it.
Thank you very much. No, that's amazing.
Thank you, it was delightful.
Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that, Katie. Would you do it again?
I'm not sure you'll have me back for a fourth
we
time.
will. After seeing your project there, we absolutely will. That is for sure. Have you enjoyed it as well? Yeah? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to finish one. The last couple that I've done, we've not quite got there, but this time we've definitely, I've really enjoyed this one. It's been my favourite one so far because I love all that spookiness.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Katie, have a lovely rest of the evening. Have a lovely weekend.
You too. Have a good weekend.
I will do throughout the week on Crafters TV. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, just love what
was amazing.
Katie's just done there. I love that kind of Dracula feel when it comes to the back of the coffin. Do you know what? Let's not hang about, Michelle. Number 3.
Aww.
Demo of the day. And I'm going to say, as Grace has as well, demo of the week and demo of the month for that one. Just absolutely epic on all proportions. So many people saying exactly the same. Those that have been crafting along have loved crafting along, found your instructions very straightforward to follow, and those that are watching and going to be craft along have found the instructions very, very easy and straightforward to be following along. Now, that is it for all of Michelle's craft alongs for a couple of weeks. No, it's not actually. How many have you got tomorrow, Michelle?
2.
Okie doke. Can you give us a quick overview as to what ones you're going to be doing?
They're just there, shall I?
Do you want to get them?
Yeah.
Do you want to get them? This is going to be good. 2 craft alongs tomorrow for you to get your teeth into, Michelle. Remember, Debbie Robinson's going to be here on this side all weekend. But what have we got, Michelle?
We have got these cute character boxes. So I made a little tower of treat boxes. But the good thing is, so you can have them wob-eyed if you want. Wob-eyed, is that a word? Wonky, but we've put a little hole in the bottom. So you can get them out on your lovely decorative table, have little candy in them, and then when you're done, it's going to be able to be popped away for next year. So that's number 1. Or number 2. And then number 3 is the 3-in-1 create a card die. So let me try and do this backwards. So we've got the elements, so it is shooting off into the sky. Yeah.
You never told or showed me that earlier on.
I thought you'd seen it.
No.
So, yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
He's shooting off into the sky and all his presents are sort of falling out of the back of the...
Oh, Michelle, you're just so inspiring in what you can come up with and the way that you then start to transition that in a craft along for everyone to, of course, craft along with. I've had a lovely couple of shows, an absolute blast, as I always do.
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Have a lovely weekend with Debbie tomorrow.
You too.
And then I'll see you, no doubt I'll see you soon, whenever our paths cross again.
We'll swap notes after Monday.
We will do as well. Give you a message after we both watch Neighbours for sure. That's great. Oh, brilliant. Don't forget, Michelle's going to be here all tomorrow with Debbie Robinson with a couple of craft alongs, as well as Play Your Craft Right. And then on Sunday, Debbie Robinson's still going to be here, but Jan's going to be on the other side. Make sure you head across to our website, .co.uk, for shoptheday.com.au. Take advantage of that buy more, save more. Remember, that's running up until midnight on Sunday. And at the moment, you guys stateside can still take advantage, of course, of that free shipping on your orders that are over $50. Of course, massive thank you earlier on to Rachel, and also a massive thank you to yourself, Grace. Have a lovely weekend. Big thank you to Jake outside as well, not forgetting, of course, Dean and Charlotte. They're all going to be with you over the weekend. I'm going to be back on Tuesday with the fish herself, where we're going to be lighting up your crafty life with a brand new tool here on Crafters Companion on Crafters TV. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you then. Bye.